fast passes, special events, and staying on Disney property. We've got 5 tips to help you plan that amazing trip. Hey, this is Dora with Make Time for Magic, and we are talking about how far in advance you want to start that planning, the difference that staying on property makes, the differences in Disney's resort categories, being aware of special events and crowd levels, and finally how to optimize your use of that FastPass system. Tip number 1. How far in advance should you start your planning? You really do want to plan your trip as far in advance as your schedule is going to let you. It reminds me of shopping on Black Friday, where there's a limited supply of all the new stuff and it'll go quick. Disney hotels can be booked 499 days in advance. Your dining and activity reservations can be made 180 days in advance. And you can make FastPass ride reservations up to 60 days in advance if you're staying on Disney property. Personally, I start my planning about 1 year out. Right now I have 3 trips in different stages of planning, with the furthest one out being in February of next year. So now if you're saying, Dora, I can't make plans that far in advance. What do I do if I need to plan for a trip in the next 60 or even 30 days from now? Well, it can be done. You just have to realize that you may not get into the most popular restaurants and be able to dine with the princesses or eat in Beast Castle. But keep in mind, this is Disney and there is no shortage of good food here. With a plan in place, you can also try to minimize your time waiting in lines as well. So be watching, because we're going to put out a video that goes over tips just for that last minute planning. But still, the best way to make sure that you get to stay in the hotel that you want, eat at the restaurants that you want, and have fast passes for those most popular rides is to start planning well in advance. Tip number 2, staying on Disney property. You really do add that extra magic to your trip when you stay at a resort on Disney property. There are so many perks, and there are over 30 hotels to choose from, so you'll be able to find one to suit nearly any budget. The theming at the Disney resorts is over-the-top amazing. There are great themed pools and loads of activities, so you can plan for days that are just spent at the resorts. It will be as if you never leave the magic. Even the bus drivers and the housekeepers will play a role in shaping your vacation. You'll have free transportation to the parks and to Disney Springs, as well as free shuttle transportation to and from the Orlando International Airport if you need it. There will be special extra magic hours made available to you, where one of the parks will be open early or will close late just for guests staying on Disney property. If you buy something while you're at the parks, you can have it sent to your hotel so you don't have to walk around with it. And Disney gives you advantages when you're making your dining and FastPass reservations too. This is significant because if you're staying for 6 nights, you will get to make dining reservations for your entire trip 180 days from the first day of your trip, while anyone not staying on property will need to make those reservations every day as each day of their trip hits that 180-day mark. And again, with your FastPasses, staying on Disney property will allow you to book your FastPass reservations 60 days in advance, while those who are not staying on Disney property will have to wait until they're 30 days out. Disney hospitality can't be beat. In my experience, the cast members working at the Disney resorts have always gone out of their way to make me feel that my experience is their top priority. I remember one trip when my children were younger and we were staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge. We were having a resort day and the kids were in the pool when the weather changed and it started to rain. They had to close the pool to wait for the storm to pass, but one of the cast members came by and opened up the arcade to free play for all the kids as they waited out the weather. It's little things like that that constantly keep Disney above the rest. So when you begin your planning, I highly recommend that you look into the hotels on Disney property. That brings us to tip number 3. What are the real differences between those value, moderate, deluxe, and deluxe villa resorts, aside from the obvious price difference? The biggest differences that you'll notice will be in the amenities available and the size of the rooms. So here's some of what they have in common. They're all beautifully themed. They all have scheduled activities available. They all have themed pools. They all offer bus transportation. They all have gift shops, and they all offer some form of dining. Here's what sets them apart. As you move from value to moderate to deluxe and deluxe villas, you're going to see the size of the rooms increase. There'll be an increase in dining options with the character meals available at most of the deluxe resorts. There'll be an increase in activities available at the resort, and for the most part, there'll be an increase in available transportation options. Conveniences will increase as you move up in resort categories. For example, staying at a deluxe resort on the monorail loop is extremely convenient, especially because you'll have your bags checked before you get on the monorail, so you won't have to wait in those bag check lines when you go to Epcot or Magic Kingdom. This convenience does, however, come at a price, which is yet another plus for the advanced planning I talk about. When you're ready to dive into your planning, keep an eye out for our upcoming video focusing just on the resorts on Disney property, where we'll give you the pros, cons, and details of each of those resorts. Tip number 4, special events and crowd levels. Before planning your trip, you'll want to be aware of any special events that may be taking place at Walt Disney World during your trip. These events can not only affect crowd levels, but they can have an impact on your overall experience. Disney has ticketed and non-ticketed events that take place throughout the year. Ticketed events like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party will affect park hours on the days that these events are taking place. The Magic Kingdom will close early to guests without tickets, so you may want to visit a different park on those days if you don't plan to attend the event. Non-ticketed events like Dapper Days or any of the festivals being held at Epcot can affect crowd levels as well, so you may want to check Disney's website to find out what events are taking place on the days that you're planning your trip. For our 5th tip, we want to talk about Disney's Fast Pass system. If you're not familiar with this is a system that Disney World has put into place that allows you to reserve a time to ride select attractions. This allows you to bypass the often long standby lines for the popular attractions. So how this works is if you're staying on Disney property and you have purchased your park tickets either separately or as part of a vacation package, you'll be able to make 3 Fast Pass reservations for each day that you have a park ticket. And you will get to do this 60 days in advance. If you're not staying on Disney property, you will get to make your selections 30 days in advance. Now, when making your selections, there are a couple things to keep in mind. Number 1, if you're going to be at the park as soon as it opens, you can usually get on a ride or two with little to no wait, so you want to avoid a first hour Fast Pass if you can. Number 2, once you've used your 3 Fast Passes, you can reserve another, but not until you have used your first 3. So ideally, you want your Fast Passes to be scheduled earlier in the day so that you have a better chance of scoring another Fast Pass or 2 while you are in the park. Keep in mind that those 4th and 5th Fast Passes will likely be for less popular rides. Still yet, it'll mean less time spent waiting in lines for you. Now, if you get super pumped about planning like I do, and you really want to make sure that you have Fast Passes for the most popular rides like Slinky Dog Dash and Flight of Passage that can see 3-hour wait times, then here is a great tip for booking your Fast Passes that will help you out. First, you want to have all your days planned before you get to this point and have a plan B in mind just in case you can't get your first choices. You don't want to waste precious time trying to make these decisions when you should be booking. Remember, it's like Black Friday. You should have your My Disney Experience account set up well in advance. You want to be on your computer and ready to go when reservations open at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time 60 days before your first park day. Then you want to start with your most important must-do attraction. Here's the trick. You want to schedule those most important attractions toward the end of your trip. If you're on a 6-day vacation, then you want to jump in and schedule those must-dos for days 4, 5, and even 6. The further into your trip you go, the less competition there will be for those Fast Passes. Then you can jump back to your day 1 filling in and grabbing passes for secondary choices. What I do quite often is actually make my day 1 a resort day or a Disney Springs day. If you set up a plan and follow this tip, then you'll be well on your way to planning that amazing Disney vacation. So, there you have it. Those are the 5 tips to know before you start planning your first trip to Disney. Do you have a tip that you wish you were given before your first trip? We would love to hear about it. Let us know in the comments below. Please give us a like and thanks for watching. Remember, time is precious, so take time to make those magical memories.